Joining me now from our bureau in Washington, D.C., Director of Litigation at the Immigration Reform Law Institute, Christopher Hajec. Christopher, there's overwhelming evidence, you would agree, I'm sure, that the sanctuary movement in this country is causing physical harm to Americans, but also great financial burden. The Immigration Reform Law Institute did a study, and you looked at the worst sanctuary cities in this country. At the top of the list is, not too surprisingly, San Francisco, California. Number two, not too surprisingly, is New York City. Minneapolis, again, probably not a huge surprise. Maybe none of these cities. Seattle, number 6, Chicago, Boston, number 9, maybe a surprise, maybe not, maybe to some Americans. Santa Clara County, California, not a surprise to anybody who's paying attention. So when you quantify what is a worst, I believe they're all worst, they're all bad, but how do we quantify what is worst?
Graham, sanctuary policies are a major crisis in this country, and we thought we'd highlight the worst offenders, meaning it's a number calculated based on how many ICE detainers they've refused, that is, how many times they've refused to give the release dates of aliens at their custody so ICE can come pick them up and deport them. How many times they've done that, how bad the resulting crime has been, how many crimes have resulted from that, and how bad the crimes have been. How much suffering have these alien criminals inflicted on members of those communities?
And San Francisco really does stand out on that list, does it not? New York's pretty bad, obviously. Some of the other cities are pretty bad. But San Francisco really kind of blazed the trail on this one. And you would think, after the murder of Kate Steinle way back in, what was it, 2015? Kate Steinle. But then there were other cases of innocent Americans being taken out one way or another by illegal immigrants, yet they continued to shield them. You would think that there would be some sort of paradigm shift. Instead, San Francisco, in a sense, has become some sort of national beacon for the sanctuary movement in this country.
Oh, it certainly has. And the alien criminal who killed Kate Steinle was attracted to San Francisco because it was a sanctuary city. And they seem to want to have him keep coming. It defies all logic, and it's a total failure of compassion and concern for the members of the communities these criminals prey upon on the part of San Francisco politicians and including Nancy Pelosi.
Right, Nancy Pelosi territory. Big Apple, of course, can be hazardous to your health if you live there because of the illegal immigration situation. New York City releasing some 2,900 criminal illegal aliens into the general public last year alone. These are incredible numbers. And again, you look at who represents at least part of New York. This would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has nothing but disdain for the officers of the law, the federal officers of the law, in particular ICE, who are trying to stop the madness and protect the American people and the residents of New York.
Yes, and it's particularly interesting because most of the crimes committed by the aliens who are released are committed in immigrant communities, like large parts of her district. Criminals often come to this country illegally and blend in the larger illegal alien communities and then prey on them, because that's what criminals do. I mean, almost all violent crime is committed by repeat offenders. So it was ridiculous from the beginning to release career criminals back on the streets when you can get them deported. But that's what sanctuary cities have done, and we've compiled a horrific list of terrible crimes committed by people who have been released pursuant to sanctuary policies.
Sanctuary cities are a threat to our civil society, a threat to law and order, a threat to the American people, and also simultaneously an attack on our federalist system, and specifically the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution. The federal government has certain roles. It's delineated right there in Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution. Immigration falls under the domain of the United States Congress, and it's high time the United States Congress holds these sanctuaries accountable. Christopher, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.